And with that, we're going to go on and talk about DeFi. So for this talk, I'd like to bring on Angela from Uniswap Foundation to tell you all about hooks. Please give Angela a big round of applause.
Hello. I'll start with one simple question. Who in here just traded ETH for USDC at least once? A lot of people, right? But have you ever wondered what really happens when you buy or sell crypto? No, right? Let's say again, you want to trade ETH for USDC, and I know we have plenty of options, from like centralized exchange or fintech, or even a decentralized one, such as Uniswap. But what's going on under the hood, really? Or what are we using DeFi or decentralized finance in the first place? So let's take a step back. In traditional finance, we have a bunch of permission infrastructure, meaning most of the trades go through our permission infrastructure. So from order routing, internal liquidity providers, market making, algorithms, and so on and so on. And don't get me wrong, these tools are super powerful, but they are closed, meaning not everyone can interact or use them. Can you? Maybe here from India, do you really have the possibility to interact with, like, let's say, the US market easy peasy? No, right? So back in 2018, Uniswap launched the first time, allowing anyone through our liquidity pools to really interact in a decentralized way with the finance world out there. These liquidity pools basically allow anyone to swap tokens permissionless, provide liquidity and earn fees, and build on top of the protocol itself. The way it works, easy peasy. From one side, connect liquidity providers, and on the other, the traders. We're gonna get into that. And that really was the start of DeFi as we know it today. Basically, open financial infrastructure for the internet. When someone asks to me, but what is DeFi really? I'm not talking about you, but maybe my family or my friends. It's just a new way to interact with infrastructure or with finance out there. And since then, DeFi it's been growing a lot. Just naming Uniswap, from 3 trillion all-time volume or 4 billion total value locked, it's a lot for sure. But to be honest, it's just a small percentage of the financial globe out there. And the way that we can be part of the future is just like having more innovation from the protocol layer, right? So let's recap now how a swap works. The way it works, again, is the connecting liquidity provider. What happens if I want to trade ETH for USDC? I have ETH, send the ETH to the pool, and something similar to X multiply Y equals K happens in the backend. That way, I can get my USDC back, and then the liquidity provider is gonna have like the fees. I know, simple, elegant, permissionless, but also static. And until the launch of B4 earlier this year, you really couldn't customize the behavior of that pools if you are working, again, in the future of the finance. And no built-in customization means slower innovation and fragmented liquidity. Couple of talks before mentioned about that issue at some point. But today, we have some sort of like way to add custom logic from the swap cycle, meaning before the swap and after the swap, if you want it, you can add some sort of like custom logic, so that way now you have external contracts that modify the pool behavior. We call that hooks. And just to check a little bit the flow, when you are building, let's say, a DeFi application out there, no matter if you're a developer or business development in the protocol ecosystem out there, the swap starts and then the system checks before the swap flag. Meaning, did you add any custom logic or not really? Okay, continue. Execute the swap. Now, check the after swap flag and then, did you add any custom logic? Okay, continue. And that ends the swap. That allows us to have plenty of possibilities out there. These are some sort of like few options. Let's mention some of them. A time-weighted average market maker, or T1. Basically, let's say we want to swap $100 million in crypto. Not that easy as you might think. The way that we can do this is like by splitting some of the transactions in like slower ones and like smaller ones, and that way from the price execution for the trader is going to be better, and also on the other side for the liquidity providers as well. Let's talk about dynamic fees, for example, based on volatility or other inputs. What happens in a bull market? A lot of activity, right? At some point back in 2021, I remember, swapping was really, really expensive. And what happens in like shopping markets? Can we somehow add some logic in there so that way in the future, no matter the amount of volume that we can have better fees for the users out there? Now it is possible. You build it. On-chain limit orders, meaning when you are trying, if you're a trader, let's say you're a trader, not financial advice, but for sure, if you're looking for trading activity, do you prefer to use centralized options today or decentralized one? Most of the times it is decentralized because maybe yet we don't have the best trading experience, right? But now it is possible if you want to create some sort of like these on-chain limit orders. And if I go back real quick, something important is that only one hook can be added per pool, but then one hook can serve many other pools. So meaning if someone today builds some of these applications, in the future this is composable and any other one can add in their protocols if they want it. And we have plenty of other options, you name it. We just don't have hooks, but also the B4 protocol on top of Unichain now it includes any other some sort of like features, such as the singleton contract and the flash accounting. Back in B3 or like other the versions of the DeFi protocol, if you wanted to trade ETH for DAI, at some point you had to go first from ETH to USDC, and then from USDC to DAI. That really happens under the hood in the past. But now everything happens in just one contract. And at the same time, with this flash accounting and any other features, everything happens in just one transaction, really, meaning that now it is really possible to build a better, seamless trading experience out there. So hooks, TLDR, from a personal standpoint, are a new kind of Legos. And if you wanted to be part of the financial infrastructure future, you can now build it using, of course, the current protocol. What you could do, let's say you are a developer, not just for the weekend, but working at a DeFi protocol, or you are a founder, or you are business developer at a DeFi protocol out there. Just to mention some of the options, let's say you're building a mini app in WorkCoin. What if we build any KYC verified pool out there? Or you are working at a lending protocol. So maybe we can create better experiences in order to auto borrow repay for lending pools. Any of these ideas can be a hook itself. So again, it's like money Legos for liquidity logic. In this QR code, you can find some other ideas and options. And now let me introduce the Uniswap Foundation, just to give you a little bit of context now that you understand why having these Legos is important for the future of finance. In pursuit of a more open and fair financial system, the Uniswap Foundation supports the growth, decentralization, and sustainability, not just for the Uniswap community, but rather the DeFi ecosystem out there. Throughout grants and like many other initiatives, we support key focus 5 areas. Protocol and innovation for developers. We are here over the weekend to support you guys. Governance, research, and security. And we've been developed a bunch of initiatives, so any other developer, team, company out there can be part of the future along with us. So let's mention some of the Uniswap Builder resources that we have from grants education, and so on. I think it was Austin at the beginning that mentioned that it's important to have all of these pipelines so people can be part from the beginning to the end of the ecosystem. So if you scan that QR code, it's going to take you throughout a thread on the Uniswap Foundation page that is going to mention if you're just starting, if you already built a project, if you need some sort of like audit subsidies, if you need some sort of like support from the GTM, if you need some sort of like support on the incentive level, everything, you name it. But I really want to mention like a couple of them so I can explain you better. The first one, it is a hook before template. If you are a developer out there, you're gonna find like the first clear steps for you to deploy your first hook. Then, if you are a founder or working as any other career in this space, there's a hook directory in case you want to take a look to some ideas that people that's been building in this space. This in particular is the results of like many hackathons in our HM Academy or the hook incubator, meaning the brilliant developers at all the space from all around the globe, they've been building different ideas. And if you're a developer, you can also go there and apply for our next cohort that is going to start, I do think, early October. Then we just launched a different Updraft B4 course. So if you just want to explore and understand what's happening under the hood of Uniswap, it's a free and open course that you can check out there. And then, who is going to hack during the weekend? Nice, cool. That's great. We also developed this UF Hacker token, meaning you're gonna find all of the resources that you can use during the weekend, the information about our bounty, and basically how to connect with us during the weekend, but most importantly, after the weekend. And again, of course, the hackathon can be just started, and then we can support you along the way. My 2 cents from this talk is basically DeFi just started. Even if we've been building during the past 10 years now, the DeFi applications is just the beginning. Regulation is just starting, like some other fintechs are just starting and joining this space. So at least for me, investing time in learning about this thing is understanding that programmable liquidity is the foundation for the next decades of open finance. And again, we have some sort of like builder journey created for you. So from the building, funding, building plus funding, security, and growth, you can be part of that journey for sure. This is basically our Hook Dojo community, meaning our whole team is here IRL, but also online to support you in case you wanted to connect with us. And like finally, my name is Ocando. I am the developer community at the Uniswap Foundation. And my mission really is just to talk to you, understand your struggles, and how can we connect you with some of our current opportunities. So yeah, hopefully you are not just here to learn over the weekend, but for being part of the future infrastructure. Thank you.